What is up, crypto gang? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto, where we hack cryptocurrency and blockchain education. If you guys are brand new here, we do a small little giveaway at the beginning of every single episode, and today's winner is Crypto Dolly. Thanks so much for commenting on the previous video. Crypto Dolly, I just sent you a wax NFT. On this episode, I'm going to be going over Studentcoin. Now, these guys have been around since 2017, and they have dredged through the bear market and created something very special. I've been following these guys for quite some time, and given my passion is around education, what I wanted to do was reach out to them and discuss how students are creating NFTs, different types of tokens, doing crowdfunding, and also just creating DeFi concept tokens that I think is very, very cool. And the idea that students are going to be able to leverage this, they're going to be able to stake, earning rewards. I mean, this could potentially replace what I once did, delivering pizzas in college. I think students could literally just start staking their STC tokens, and instead of, knocking on doors with pizzas, they could literally be staking these tokens, making rewards. They could be lending out these tokens and using the built-in STC exchange, which is very exciting to see innovation happening for academia and people that are really involved in universities. They've partnered with over 500 universities, so this really opens the door to a lot of students out there that are very interested in experimenting with NFTs and DeFi. So one of the really interesting things about Studentcoin as I was doing my research was that it's built on Ethereum, and they've built this kind of trifecta around what they're trying to accomplish for students. So they have the STC exchange where you can go on there and trade all the different tokens that have been created. They have the STC terminal that allows people to create NFTs and different DeFi tokens. And ultimately, they're going to allow people to crowdfund. So if they have a startup, they can literally start crowdfunding using their own token that they've created and raise money from various people within this system. Now, a really important part to any project nowadays is governance and voting. And a really cool thing here is that people that are holding and staking these STC tokens, they can actually participate in the project itself. You can have votes, and they are rolling this out, which I dug into and learned that they are going to be rolling this out later this year. So students are literally going to be directing the direction of this project and helping with it, which I think is a really cool and innovative approach and a very transparent way of running a project like this. Because if you're going to involve millions of students across 500 universities, in more universities, you're going to need to have it be a feedback loop. You're going to need to have people actually leading the way. So step one is going on and creating the STC wallet, which is super easy to sign up for. Basically as easy as signing up for a social media profile. Go on there, you sign up, you can play around and see the updates as they come out. That's where they communicate with everybody on there. Super slick experience. Q3 of 2021 this year, they're going to roll out the STC terminal. It's going to allow students to start creating their own NFTs and their own tokens. And I think that this is really, really important right now, because maybe there's a bunch of finance students. There's also a bunch of art students, let's say, at a university. They collaborate and you get some crazy, cool, artistic NFTs rolling out. I think that there's a lot of potential here because there's a lot of crossover in all the different majors. My hope is that some clubs will start at universities around something like Studentcoin and really enable people to collaborate together, to create new tokens together, start up companies and fundraise using their crowdfunding feature together. And I just like the idea that it could be an entire ecosystem. One really cool thing that STC is focusing on right now is their Launchpad. The funding was completed, which was cool to see that they ran through a full successful fundraise, and also the idea that they are really promoting this to be the central location where people can manage all their different types of tokens, their NFTs and everything. I think that that is a very empowering concept just to see that it is being driven by students. A couple of the really major universities that have already adopted this that stood out to me was the London School of Economics. Obviously, Harvard University is a huge name to have on board and be working with students in clubs there. You have Kosminski University that has an investment club that's pretty well known. And then, of course, you have New York University. So these these are some of the highlight universities that Studentcoin is already in. Students there are getting involved. They're already playing around with the different features that they're doing on the wallet. Obviously, the ability to create these tokens is coming later on this year. June of this year, they're planning to roll out the wagering platform as well as the dividend rewards. So that has to do with your staking when you're actually holding on to the STC token. And that kind of locks everything together with the economics there, because if people are generating cash flow within this ecosystem, they can use that profit to mint more NFTs, create more DeFi tokens, get them listed on the STC exchange when that rolls out, do some crowdfunding for a project that they're working on. The rewards really help fuel a lot of this. And that's one of the things that I've always enjoyed about, building things on Ethereum and building things that involve staking, because it allows people to generate this cash flow that they can just reinvest in different ways. And I think for students, it's going to be a really important lesson in how to function in personal finance, because you need to be able to support different debt that you might take on by cash flow. One of the coolest things that they're rolling out now is the SMT token. This is the first token in their ecosystem, and it stands for the Smart Marketing Token. This is going to allow people to use the STC terminal and projects that are involved in Studentcoin currently to effectively do different influencer marketing. They're going to be able to pay out whoever they need to get involved, affiliates, things like that. So whether it's sending it to YouTubers like myself or sending it out to different bloggers, podcasters, and things like that, I like the idea that they're going to equip all of their members and their users that are using the platform by saying, hey, here's SMT, you can use it for your marketing purposes. And ultimately that helps the entire ecosystem. The SMT token is supposed to be rolling out in May of 2021, and it's going to enable Telegram marketing, all different types of banner advertising, and it's really going to allow for this dynamic kind of marketing agency concept that I think in that alone is basically a disruptive technology where you're giving this token to all these projects that are going to use it for marketing purposes. And I think that that's a very clever way of using their own technology at Studentcoin to really bring adoption to the platform itself. Last piece here is the STC app. Now, the Studentcoin app is quite slick, and they already have over 30,000 downloads. It's available on Android. I will be leaving the link to it below so you guys can give it a check out, see what you think, leave a comment as to what you think about the wallet. I think it's pretty slick, but definitely give it a download. At the time of recording this, the wallet is currently at number 64 in all of the App Store under the finance section, which is a pretty bullish sign. Without further ado, let's go through my overview of the website to show you guys exactly what it looks like. So once you're on the homepage, you can see build and manage your own token is simple. And just the idea of launching an NFT from your dorm room is pretty fantastic. I wish that would have existed when I was in college learning about economics, but I do love the idea that this is now a reality. And so much so that on the roadmap that I'm about to show you, shows that they're partnering with Harvard University and a lot of other pretty much blue chip universities. The STC terminal piece here is right here under the create your token part. So you can create your own NFTs, your own DeFi tokens, and obviously they have a heavy reliance here on education. People need to be able to go on here and learn how to create their own tokens, how to get it on the STC exchange. Because in order for this to go mainstream and in order for students to be using this to create different tokens and different NFTs and different DeFi concepts, they need to be able to understand what's going on. So I really like that they're emphasizing the education component here, because people need to learn how to do this. And if they're going to be using a platform, they definitely need to know before they list on an exchange, before they do a crowdfunding campaign. So I like that that is step number 2. Now, tokenization is not that easy of a concept for a lot of people to understand. So I like that they have added the crowdfunding component, because to me, things like Kickstarter and Indiegogo really did allow for similar concepts of decentralized funding to come to mainstream. So I like that they're using the word crowdfund and crowdfunding. And last year, you can see the long roadmap starting in Q4 2017 all the way to Q1 2021. And you can see that it officially launched the Launchpad, and then you have the STC listing on major exchanges. You have it's launching the STC exchange, the STC terminal, and the STC app for the public in Q3 of this year of 2021. And you can see all of the roadmap by going on through their website. But I love the fact that they've been around for quite a few years. They rode out the bear market. That's always a good sign of a long-term project. And I like the idea that they are doing a Launchpad. I think that that's a fantastic way of getting everybody involved, and that it's built on Ethereum. That is it for my overview of Studentcoin. All the links will be in the description below. What you have is a full ecosystem for students and users to manage all these different components, all baked into one. You have staking, you have crowdfunding, you have DeFi, you have NFTs, you have all of this in one area with 500 partnerships with universities, including Harvard, New York University, and some really big names. So it's a fantastic project in my opinion. And full disclaimer, I did reach out to them, and this is a sponsored overview. I really wanted to share this information. As I've said before on the channel, I always try to find the coolest projects, the most cutting edge, and ones that I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about education and colleges getting them into cryptocurrency. I've talked about that many times on the channel before. And if you guys know of any projects that are in the education space, definitely shoot me a DM. But that is it for this episode. Check out everything about Studentcoin in the links below, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Hack Crypto.